Representative Franklin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I concur with General Bergman. I oppose the ranking member's amendment. It effectively would gut what we're trying to accomplish here. I think it would give the secretary far too much discretion to simply kill an investigation, allow someone to move on, and there's no accountability. The ranking member mentioned that he felt that it would add no value to the oversight that we do as a committee, and I thoroughly disagree. Really, the impetus of this really comes from an investigation that we were launching as a committee. As you all recall, we had a whistleblower that came forward who had made repeated efforts to use the proper chain of command to report her, the violations against her. They went unanswered, stonewalled. Only when she became a whistleblower and came to the committee did we look into it. The VA, up to and including the secretary, completely blew us off for months until finally the chairman talks about issuing subpoenas. Only at that time, the very first time, did the secretary come forward and start complying with us, but only after all the people allegedly involved in this had been allowed to resign, retire, or transfer. And so it's dead. And you know, so I thought, this is absurd. Let's go back and look at how this has been happening. And in 96% of the cases where there were settlements, this is what happens. People who are alleged to have done wrong are allowed to go other places and escape judgment. Yeah, I understand this would be something just within VA and not with other departments, and in that sense to be treating VA maybe to a tougher standard. I think it ought to be across the board in all the departments. You know, I was watching 60 Minutes this past Sunday night, and they were talking about the Red Hill spill. The reporter that was pressing the Undersecretary of the Navy on this was continuing to ask, like, well, where's the accountability? Where are the people who are involved in this? You know there's been wrongdoing here. What's the accountability? And she sheepishly, after repeated efforts, said, well, you know, they've all retired or been reassigned. And I've seen it over and over in the military and in every government agency I deal with. The most junior people in the organization are always held accountable, but the more senior you go up the chain of command, the less accountability that there is. No one senior ever gets fired for malfeasance. And we can't allow this to happen, and I just urge the rejection of this amendment by Mr. Takano and ultimate passage of my bill. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Does any other member seek recognition?